I got into tree climbing because my father had a tree climbing company, tree worker company, and then I started the competitions when I was 15, and now I'm 33. So yeah, it's been a few years, and every year I haven't really missed a year in between, no matter where I've been competing, whether it's in Europe or in the States or Canada. So I've tried to compete as much as possible. What's going through my mind? That's a good question, because there's a lot of things that go through your mind. I think the most is hurry up, because there's a lot of it which is based on time, just to make sure you finish within the allotted time that you're given. Aside of that, you have to make sure that you're keeping yourself looking like as if you're not exerting too much energy, because you're based on some of the areas for your points, so you're efficient, safe during that period when you're climbing around the tree. But generally, I think for me it's hurry up and finish and do the best you can. Some days you don't do the best you can, you just do okay, but it's just an experience nevertheless, and you can push forward to try and train harder for the next time. Yeah, it was 1 second left, so in the Masters Challenge the time stops when the gear leaves the tree, so it can be free falling in midair. It doesn't have to be touching the ground. Well, it doesn't have to finish falling and touch the ground. And I was by 1 second, so I think that was the closest I've ever cut a Masters Challenge at. But I always end up having that sort of trait of taking my time, making sure that everything's nice and smooth in the tree, and then it always ends up I end up cutting down. I have to real rush at the last few minutes, but that was the last few seconds. So I think that's definitely one to remember and not repeat again. So obviously it's just to display your skills as a climber, to show that you have an understanding of safety, a respect for the trees, because obviously we're doing it in a non-invasive way of climbing the trees, whereas many years ago people used to, and even still some people do, but it's definitely frowned upon. They use climbing irons just to do routine maintenance of pruning of trees, whereas with the climbing competitions it promotes a better industry standard. So we're throwing small throw lines into the trees to pull our climbing lines in, and then we ascend up the ropes to carry out tasks in the tree.